Today's lesson will include circles, spheres, squares or cubes. I'm not gonna be a stickler on what you want to call them. And of course, cylinders. Hopefully you don't mind the noises behind me. I can't really control that. Anyways. And forms of them, which include ovals. You know, your good old-fashioned egg shapes, and it comes in a little variety. Rectangles. I'm using the shapes that are most common in drawing. And of course, I'm going to include cones in the line of cylinders, because if you've ever used a 3D program, they kind of look like a... Well, at least when I used a 3D program. They're basically like a cylinder where one end has been tapered to the point of being... So... But with these shapes, you can pretty much draw everything, and eventually you get to a point where you don't draw these shapes exactly as they are, like this. You start doing combinations of them and other things like that, so... But to get there, you must practice these. Like, if you've drawn 100 squares, now go to 200. You've drawn 300 cylinders, draw 600. Like, just keep at it, because these are basics that everything you draw can be broken down into these, and as long as you know these shapes, like muscle memory by heart, even when you're introduced to something you've never drawn before, or never, you know, that you're asked to draw, you will always be able to break it down, whatever it is, into these shapes and figure out how to draw it. And then from there, you can stylize what you're looking at, fit it into your look, your aesthetic that you have going on in your art. Because I personally believe this. Some may not, some do, whatever. I don't care, because they're not me. As bad as that sounds. I believe style is just... Style comes with practice and understanding. It's your take on these things. Now, with that being said, style should never be used as an excuse for inexperience on how to draw something. If you draw something and it doesn't turn out the way you had planned, don't use the excuse of, it's my style. Because that doesn't help anybody, and that doesn't impress anybody. So, you go strong, you got to become stronger. Strong. Again. Okay. I don't know what I was doing there. But yeah, you can break these things down and you can make it into a game even, like, so, a cup. Let's take your average tea or coffee cup, mug, whatever. What the fuck? There we go. So then once you get here, you know, you can do teacup. So we'll start with the cylinder. And depending on how much you taper the other end, more towards like a cone or whatever, yes. Here you go, you just do a little handle. You've got a cup, you've got a mug. Now with more time and detail, you know, you'll get this to look more like an actual mug than what I've got here. But it's just to get the idea down. Depending on how you change it, you can change what it is entirely, from like a cup to a coffee mug. I love my squares. Which leads on to actual squares. Look at this. This is a coffee mug. It's like a neo-modern coffee cup. But it's fun, right? See? Drawing shouldn't be like a chore. It should be fun. Even if when you're doing it for a job, you know, well, if you're doing it for a job, you want to make sure you get it right, what the customer pays for, but just when you have the chance and you practice, make practice fun. It doesn't have to be a chore, and you don't have to seek perfection. Just practice, get better, and try to be more relaxed instead of stressed out over it. Just remember, perfection isn't achievable, and in all honesty, perfection isn't truly desirable when you get it, because perfection is kind of boring. Flaws make you perfect. Kind of philosophy is that? Anywho, on to the next thing. So you can even have fun with squares. I have a tendency to do this because it's, again, fun. So I'll take a square, and I'll match the lines up. So I got this, right? This is something I did more in painting, because you can get the size of what you're wanting quicker. But then you like round off the edges, you like trim it. Depending on how you trim it will definitely have an impact. Then you would go in and then you'd clean up the edges a bit, or leave it like that even, because you like the look of it. Let's see. It's fun, right? This is like applying the shapes to something, to create something. I wouldn't really use this method unless you're painting, because with painting you can get blobs of color and shape in there, and it really has an impact. Trying to think. Oh, and circles. Even circles make great for teacups and soup bowls, because you just go do a circle and then you judge how high you want the walls, and you cut it, and then you just go in and darken it. And you don't even have to, you'll get to a point where you don't even have to do the whole thing like this. Eventually you'll just kind of do like a combination of them, because you'll get a feeling for it. You'll get the muscle memory for it, the natural tuition for it. Coffee cup's gonna like pour over. And as you see here, it's a cup, and then you can add things onto it with other shapes. Like this is kind of like an oval shape that I'm using down here. Just kind of turn it up into the cup, and there you go, see? But because I practiced these, I was able, and like doing it this way, well, not this one, not this one, but because I practiced these, though I didn't use this one, but because I practiced these, I'm able to apply. Yes.
Go with me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll be right there. Let me get my earrings in.
You need earrings too.
Yep, they're part of the look. I'll be right there. I have to head out, sadly, so this is just lesson 1. I'll show how to apply this on, like, limbs at a later time, probably a little later, either tonight or tomorrow, just give or take. But I want you guys to practice these shapes as much as you can. Have like a little sketchbook or even just like a sheet of pages to practice them on, and if you keep like a small sketchbook with you when you go places, even if you don't have like a whole lot of time that you can really dedicate to drawing, if you carry small sketchbooks or things like that with you, in those like brief like 5 minutes, 1 minute, or whatever you have, you can do quick little sketches of squares, circles, and cones, and try them from different angles too, because that helps with perspective. And I would love to see the results in the chat if you would like to share them. Or you can even just ask me and I will send them to me through my email, things like that. Anyways, yeah, I will see you guys, or I suppose I shouldn't say see you guys. I'll see you all later for more lessons, and if you want to see how I do some things, or see me how I draw certain characters, let me know in the comments below.